for, I guess, is another thing. I prefer, like when I go out to eat a lot, I like sitting at the bar. I like low-key but great food. And I think that's kind of my generation of chefs, I think, is kind of are leaning more towards that, where the atmosphere is a little more relaxed. The stuffiness has kind of been taken out of a lot of these places that are newer now, but the focus goes more onto the ingredients and the food. And I think that's one of the biggest things, when you go to a great place is the quality of ingredients they're using, and having someone there that really cares every day. A lot of chefs have multiple restaurants now. It's kind of become the way to make the business work. There's not huge profit margins in small restaurants, and to create opportunity for your staff to grow and to maintain good employees, to retain them, is to open up more restaurants. And then you run into the problem of making sure someone's there to follow your vision every day. I'm lucky right now. We have one restaurant right now, so this has been my focus along with growing our catering company. But having someone there that cares, if it's not yourself, it needs to be someone else that's really is passionate about what's going out of that kitchen, what's leaving, looking at the dishes and tasting the food, having people tasting every dish that goes out to make sure that it's correct, and to not let anything go out that's not right.
Which are shoes you've had to fill before, especially
Sure.
when you were the chef de cuisine at Grant's.
Sure.
Where Billy Grant and that organization have 3 restaurants, and you were basically the head of the kitchen for one of them. Right.
It's extremely important to have someone there to carry on that vision and that level of quality that you're trying to hit.
So both when you're preparing meals, thinking of meals or the dishes, and also now that you're bringing along other chefs to work under you, how much do you see of the craft of being talent versus experience and them coming along?
Well, when we hire people, we test them out in the kitchen first. We do what's called a trail or a stage, where they come into the kitchen, they work for a day with us, and to kind of see their habits. And we're looking for people that have a sense of urgency, I think, is one of the most important things. And the way that their mind works, to be able to organize tasks into you need to be a multitasker. It's from where the day starts in preparing all of your mise en place, all of your ingredients, to when you're actually working the line, when we're cooking at night for the customer. There's 20 things that you're juggling all at the same time. What's the next 10 steps that you're going to turn around? You're going to flip this thing over, then you're going to go into the oven, and then you're going to get the next ticket started that's going to be plated at the same time with the other guy. And so we're looking for people that have that talent. That's the talent we're looking for. We can train people on how to prepare, how to implement techniques that are good that we use. That part is teachable. I think the part that is not teachable, that we look for that innate talent, is that hustle, that sense of urgency, that work ethic, which is, I think, usually ingrained, in someone, in how their mind works, is being able to really juggle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And Len, we were talking earlier about, as a chef, like how many clocks you've got going on in your head all at once, because it's not even, you have the clock on the dish to make sure it gets out to the guest in time, but also all the ingredients, all the different components, and then you got multiple dishes, so it just multiplies.
Yeah,
that's
it's intense.
It's got to be the talent, man.
Does it ever stop, Jonathan?
No, sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night saying, how long on that ribeye on table 20? Oh my God, it's taking 20 minutes. You're like, wait, I'm not at work. I'm sleeping right now. But yeah, it carries over. It's for sure.
As it all comes together, and everything's been prepared, cooked well, and now you're at a point of the final presentation before it goes out to the guests. Do you put a lot of emphasis on the presentation, or is it something that kind of just comes together?
I mean, we want things to look nice and to be, appetizing, obviously. To me, that's somewhat secondary, especially, at Cafemantic, we are focused on being a neighborhood restaurant where we're not trying to be fine dining, where a lot of things are very, very delicate plating and very, very arranged, and a lot of, some dishes at some of these crazy restaurants, take several minutes to plate. we're more concerned about the flavor and delivering like just, a very good tasting dish, a satisfying dish to someone. So presentation is important. I don't want to say it's not, but it's not our number one focus. The time you talked about, is during service where we're putting food out for the guests, that's kind of where all that hard work during the day pays off. And when everything is running smooth and everyone is focused and on their game, that is like that's the fun part of the day. That's where, you get that adrenaline rush comes in, and if everything's going right, it's a high. It's a feeling that you can't really, get,
It's game time, right?
It's game time, and when things are coming together right, it's amazing.
Sometimes when you go to a very fine restaurant, it'll be plated so nicely. It's put in front of you, and you have to think, do I really want to eat this, or do I want to look at it? And then the second thing that comes to mind is there's no food on my plate. And I paid $30 for this?
Right.
Well, a $30 Instagram picture, right?
Right.
That's a whole nother story, yeah.
And a big thing for you is your ingredients and how different things are coming together. You change often with the seasons and everything. You have your winter season menu up right now. When you're thinking about the combination of ingredients, are you to a point where, you can mentally like almost taste the ingredients coming together, or like, oh, I need a component of that, or
right,
like,
yeah.
How do you think about that, like a creation of a new dish?
Right. That I think, I forget where I picked this up somewhere. I think humans are like one of the only animals that can actually think about tastes and simulate what it will taste in your head. So that's definitely something I think after you do it for a while, you can really hone in on that. But we let the season and the availability of product kind of dictate our menus, and even dishes that come together. We have a list of availabilities from the farms that come in every week. Usually, most of the farmers email or text me once a week to show what they have in inventory, and from there we construct the menu and we construct dishes from that. So, it's halibut season in the spring, and we have a fish guy. He goes down to the docks, and okay, this is what we have. Okay, so halibut. Okay, we want to do that. That looks really good. All right, so what's what vegetables? Well, we have fava beans are out right now. Okay, we have small baby carrots are out right now. Okay, what goes with that? Okay, onions go with that. Maybe butter, something a little light, but not super light because it's not summer yet, because it's still chilly out. So it kind of gets narrowed down by what's available at the moment and what's really pristine right now. What's the best ingredients right now, and that kind of dictates what goes into a dish. So in terms of like really sitting down and like conceptualizing a certain dish, it's more about a process of elimination almost. Like, well, we don't have this. This is what's available. How do we make it work together? And some things just don't work together, and that's so that's not an option. And we just kind of pick alike things.
That's where the experience comes in.
Right. We call it like flavor balancing, like what goes with what flavor. We know, like, okay, halibut goes with bacon. What goes with bacon? Everything. Right. Bacon's an easy one, right? So it's just kind of bridging flavors and finding ways to incorporate them. And then you choose different techniques, and it just kind of works like that.
Great. Actually getting more into the ingredients that you're talking about and where you get them and knowing the people you get them from. I believe, Cafemantic, as a whole has a claim that the dishes are a celebration of the hard work of the farmers, artisans, and fishermen that supply the restaurant. And then also in that New York Times article, they had you referencing the food writer, Michael Pollan, knowing the hand that feeds you. Can you talk a little bit more about, the sourcing of the ingredients, and maybe as you're working with either farmers or fishermen, what qualities do the ingredients or things you've learned about qualities of ingredients over the years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've been lucky at Cafemantic to kind of explore the eastern Connecticut side of farming. Previously at Grants, I had met people out in that area, so coming here I really didn't have a lot of farms that I had relationships with. So I was able to kind of start fresh and build a lot of relationships, starting back in 2012. I have to mention Winter Kaplison, who was the former person that ran the Coventry Farmers Market, who started a program called RSAs, which is a play on CSA, Community Supported Agriculture, which has become very popular with people buying a share of a farm for the year. She started this program at the farmers market for restaurants that we would sign up for a share of the farmers market, and every Sunday after the market we would get a delivery, a mystery box, essentially of different ingredients from different farms and a long list of who grew what, and that was really instrumental in developing a lot of these relationships, because we were able to get a chance to see what these different farmers did, who had the best carrots or radishes, or someone's growing a specific type of Indian eggplant, a bitter eggplant that I'd never tasted before. And so that was a way to really learn who had what and what we liked from them. And then from there we developed some longer relationships, one of them being Sweet Acre Farms in Lebanon. They had actually moved several times since when we first met them, but now they have their own place out in Lebanon. And like with them, we work with, even in the winter, after season or pre-season, to develop the next year's planning for their farm for what we want from them. So it's an ability to plan from the seed stage and kind of have that ongoing conversation of, first of all, what's working, not only specifically in the region, but on their farm specifically, in their land, and what's been successful for them to grow, what's been successful for us to put on the menu and actually have the guest like it. Sometimes that's not only doesn't always align with what you think is really great. Sometimes you're excited about a dish and it just doesn't move the way you would like it to.
So sometimes you got to work almost from the guest in the restaurant, who's the end consumer of it all,
right?
The way back to the farm.
Yeah, we tried to I don't know if I still have this list somewhere. I should probably try to dig it up. But all these criteria of a dish, we went through kind of what are the criteria of a dish. Does it make you happy to cook it? Is it engaging for our cooks and for ourselves? Are we excited to do it? Can we make money on it? We have to be able to profit off of a dish to be able to sustain the restaurant and to sustain all of our employees that we have and all of that. Is it something the guest is excited about? So is it available? Is it consistently available? It's nice to have that long-term, back and forth with the farmers. So we wanted to do padron peppers, which is like a Spanish pepper that is very simply prepared. It's a Spanish kind of tapas that they do a lot, where it's just fried with olive oil and sea salt. Mm-hmm. So delicious pepper. They grew it for us, and they ended up being so spicy. It's supposed to be like 1 in 20 are spicy, similar to like a shishito pepper. Uh-huh. And they just ended up all being so spicy. Different climate, different soil, when was it, what size was it harvested at, all these issues that just didn't quite work up the way we wanted it to. So we had to adapt, so now we do shishito peppers, which is similar, but able to grow a little bit better, with their farm at least.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, side note on that, shishito peppers, I mean, what happens when you're like, do you ever find like you're cooking in the kitchen and you've got all mild shishito peppers and then spicy one comes through? Right. Is that something you kind of taste for when you're using it, or?
We tell the staff to make sure that the guest knows about that, and I think that's kind of the exciting part, kind of compared to like a Russian roulette kind of situation, except not life or death, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Because we do that at home. It's like we have all the peppers laid out, or like do stuffed peppers or something, and then it's like, who's getting the spicy one as we go through.
I think that's I want to find the spicy one personally. I love spicy food, so I'm always looking for that spicy one, hoping.
Yeah, so I'm the mild guy, and my girlfriend's not. So
right. You switch. You go, here, I got the spicy one. Here you go.
Yeah, after that one first bite.
Yep.
This is a cool time of the year because we're getting ready for the holidays, when most of us are starting to do our more, we'll call it laborious cooking at home, but also it's kind of post-harvest, and we have most of what we've grown in the gardens. But as we get into maybe more of a mind shift of, being the farmer at home to being the cook at home, I think this is actually the nostalgic point where we're thinking about the holidays, we're making plans, and we have all our friends coming over and reminiscing, oh, this is going to be such a great time. And then we get to the point maybe a couple weeks from now,